Hi, hello, this is Gert from SEOleverage.com. Today from my home office, everybody locked down here in Spain. I guess you are probably in a very similar situation right now. We still want to do this Ask Me Anything live. There is a very high chance I get interrupted by my children today. Bear with me. I'm going to still try to get some questions answered here today. We've got a variety of topics, from how to measure your SEO potential to how your business should be like water these days. So absolutely stick here. We're going to go very quickly through the questions we received this week. And let's jump right in. Just so you know, we've got these Ask Me Anything sessions every Friday at 10 a.m. Central European Time, 8 p.m. in Sydney. So tune in, follow us at SEO Leverage in Facebook, or me personally, Gert Mellak in Instagram. And just so you get heads up when the next call is coming up. Whenever you have any questions, direct them to support at SEOleverage.com. My team is collecting the questions, hands them over to me for the weekly calls so we can prepare for them in advance. And in general, if you're interested in SEO, check out our top 10 tips ebook you can download for free from our website. Get some additional insights and especially actionable insights for how to improve your SEO. The first question is, how many clicks am I going to get once I get a certain ranking? This is a question we get very often because it's obviously tied to the return on investment of SEO. In SEO, however, it's not as easy to answer or as easy to make a projection as it might be in other platforms or paid search, PPC campaigns on social media, etc. Because we've got very different queries in Google bringing up a very different search result. Just think, for example, you have a search with a local intent, meaning order pizza online is going to bring up local results, and whenever there is a local result, Google is going to add different components to the page, to the search results pages, which are going to catch users' attention, and the number of clicks an organic search result is going to get on this page are going down drastically. Whereas if you have a result where there are 10 results, a search which comes with 10 results directly, click-through rates are going to be higher. So there are a huge amount of factors or elements influencing the number of clicks that can be received from a search result. And even if you are trying to position your site within a certain niche, for a certain topic, the different angles about this topic are going to also differ the amount of clicks you can get, even if you have talk about the same positioning on page one. So SEO, we need to view as a long-term game. SEO, usually most clients asking me for SEO are clients that know that it's working for their competitors. They know they're losing clients because they don't have a page one ranking towards the top. But it's very hard to make a projection of how many clicks you are going to receive, even if we think it's like a 1%, 2%, 5% click rate you might be getting, probably more towards the lower end here. And you have some search volume estimations from tools. It's still very hard to get an idea of what the actual traffic is going to be when you get rankings for a certain topic. We do some calculations just to make sure that if there is a campaign that right from the start lets us assume there is not enough potential for a positive return on investment, we would reject the project, or at least advise the client right away. We do some calculations, but it's a very hard thing to do. SEO is more a thing like you reserve a certain amount of budget, see where you can get in 6 to 12 months, and then make a judgment of whether this was worthwhile for your brand. If you want to keep trying, if you want to keep improving, if you're already seeing results and know for sure that this works for you as well. Or another good way to view it is that if you see major competitors in your space having been doing SEO efforts for quite some time and getting good results, it's it's probably high time that you get in there as well and get your share of the organic potential on Google. Another question I got this week was, what's the issue with thin content pages? So thin content pages is something that comes up in our site audits. We sometimes advise clients that they have thin content pages, and thin content pages means pages with very few words, very short descriptions. This very often happens on e-commerce solutions, but also on some B2B services websites, etc. We see where there is just a headline, there's a very short text, maybe a big image, and that's the entire site. Depending on the search intent, meaning the reason why someone executed a search, thin content might be no problem at all. Imagine someone searching for the height of the Eiffel Tower. How many words do they really need to read in order to get their question answered? What's happening though on most pages is that thin content very often indicates a very low value page. So even if you have a very good, long or in-depth article that perfectly responds to what users are searching for, if they then click somewhere and land on one of those thin content pages, the user experience is going to suffer quite a bit. And this is why we point out thin content pages to clients, just to ask them to review those pages, go through them, check if there is anything we could do to add more value. And very often, more often than not, actually, those thin content pages are really then just deleted by our clients, because when they think about them, they are not really necessary. A perfect example for thin content pages are so-called tag pages. So if you use WordPress, for example, for a website and you add tags many times to blog posts, for example, every tag is going to create usually an URL on its own, a page on its own, where all the articles that have the same tags are going to be presented. But what happens if this is an ongoing process is that more and more tags are generated, and many of those tags only are being added to one or two articles. So if you then open the tag page, it's just one introduction of one article showing there, the rest of the page is blank. And then the whole page on its own doesn't add any value for users. It's not going to rank for anything and can really just be deleted or forwarded to another more high value URL. The next question is how to maintain good rankings. And this reminded me of a client who said, look, we are going to try this service with you, and as long as you bring us to the top and keep us there, we are going to pay our monthly fee. Otherwise, we are going to switch agencies. This is a client we thankfully still have in our portfolio. After 5 years, we have been able to keep them on top, and they, with their attitude right from the beginning, have been keeping our team motivated to maintain their rankings. Maintaining good rankings means maintaining the quality of your website corresponding to what changing user expectations might be happening in the market. What this means is that today users might expect a certain thing when they perform a search, but next month or next week, or now we've got the coronavirus madness going on, and the users have a completely different behavior at different times, might mean completely something else. You need to make sure that your page at any given point responds in the best possible way to what users expect from Google. If Google picks up the positive signals that your audience likes what they get from you when they perform the respective searches, your site is going to stay there. Apart from that, part of the signals, of course, mean links, inbound links. If you got to page one, to the top because you had a very good link profile, and over time you get fewer and fewer links pointing to your website while your competitors are taking over in terms of their link profile, it's definitely not going to mean anything good for your site, and it's going to give you a hard time maintaining your rankings. So definitely make sure that on the one hand, you keep up with what Google wants to show. This might change over time. And second, make sure that you get positive signals to your site over time as well, so that Google keeps being sure that your site is the best possible response to their users. Another question we got, and this is really due to the coronavirus um, thing that's going on right now, is how to adapt the business to changing circumstances. And this is why I was reminded to the phrase "be like water," because water is going to adapt to whatever situation that presents itself to it. I think in order to have a business as stable as possible, it needs to be able to adapt. And it's easier to adapt if you're not single source dependent, if you're not depending on one kind of product in one kind of niche in one country or even in one city, as many businesses are. For us, it was a very big step to go international, to stop offering our services just in Austria and then in Spain, for example. But we went international. We've got clients from all over the world. We've got clients from different niches. So some clients cut their SEO spendings these days, but we don't have an issue with it because we've got other clients in other parts of the world in other niches that still hire us for new work and give us more jobs and give us more confidence in their SEO strategies. So the more you can scale your business across the entire planet, across the country, different countries and different niches, the more independent you get. So adapting the business in general means change. So your success in business is going to be tied to your ability to adapt to changing environments. So this is why very many businesses these days are going to have to look into what they have been doing up to now, what's not going to work anymore. So some things are going to definitely change forever, probably. Other things are going to work again once we get to a more stabilized situation. And then we need to see what can we, for example, digitize in our business. Even if it's a very traditional business, there might be things we can digitize. There might be things we can offer in a different way. There might be info products coming out of our experience where we can actually sell our intellectual property on a digital platform. There might be courses. There might be other ways of delivering only part of our services. If we manufacture, we might have patents. We might have methods we can register or license or sell or joint ventures we can arrange between some providers and some clients of ours, etc. So there is a lot of things we can do in business that might help us to get a more stabilized approach, more elastic approach where we can easily adapt to different circumstances. And then the whole remote working from home thing, etc., is definitely something that's not going to work for everybody. But maybe even in companies that are very traditionally focused, there might be some roles that definitely can do the work remotely. And it's going to add a lot of flexibility, not only for a quick adaptation to these circumstances, but also for the hiring process. There are a lot of companies, even agencies, that tell me they don't get enough qualified people right now to work at their agency, and very often it's location related. So being able to hire people from abroad, from other countries, from other time zones, etc., is going to add a lot of value and a lot of potential for the future to your business. So definitely how to adapt a business to change is really being open to change, accept the change, I guess. It's just something given and we need to accept it. We can't fight it. And see what can you reinvent? What can you do differently? What else could you offer to the same audience that already trusts and respects your brand? So there is a lot of things that can be done here. I think unless you're open to accepting the change, nothing is going to happen. So embrace it, see what you can do with it. If you want to bounce some ideas, send me an email. I'm always happy to talk about business. It's just something I really enjoy. This is my email address, by the way. Also, if you have any inquiries on SEO or online marketing, or just want to get another point of view, happy to share what I think about your situation. And yeah, one of the things you might want to look into is getting a quick audit on your site. If you haven't done any SEO or you want to know where your site is in terms of SEO, check out seoleverage.com. We've got a quick audit. It's $20 right now, I think $22. And it's going to give you a quick overview we put together for you and streamlines your SEO efforts. So you know where you should be going, where you want to focus your attention on, especially these days. You would like to make sure that whatever you focus on, where you spend your resources on, is going to really bring your site forward. Just checking if there are any questions. I think that's about it what we have for today. We're going to do this next Friday again, just giving you the time again. Make sure you follow us on Facebook or follow me personally on Instagram. Let's stay in touch. Drop me a line if you want to bounce some ideas around. And other than that, let's catch up next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.